Hey, it's Katrina again here with another video. Today we are exploring a topic that we don't typically go into. We're talking about Microsoft advertising and Bing ads. So this is going to be a really interesting one, and I'm so excited to go into this topic with you guys. So first of all, Microsoft and Bing are obviously not the most popular searches out there. That would be Google, of course. However, Microsoft and Bing are still home to over 1 billion active users. So you don't want to sleep on this, guys. And their algorithm system is very similar to Google, but in some ways it's a lot more sophisticated, and we're going to get into it. So Bing is a search engine that is owned and operated by Microsoft. You probably have purchased products before that has it automatically hooked up into it, and you've definitely heard of them, that's for sure. Microsoft also owns LinkedIn, which I think some of you may not know, which is pretty interesting. And LinkedIn has by far been one of the best ways, if not the best way, that we've gotten clients so far over the last few years. Bing also allows you to ask more complex questions in their search engine than Google. So you can get really detailed and specific, whereas Google, it is sometimes better to make that broad search, because if you get too specific, it doesn't necessarily give you the right kind of information. So in that regard, Bing is actually better in terms of the user experience. You're also going to reach a completely different audience on Bing than Google at times. And I'm sure you've heard of people who said, hey, I'm not really a Google person, or I'm not a Facebook person, I'm not an Instagram person. To each their own, different strokes for different folks, right? So you're going to have people that just simply don't use Google. And if you're not on Bing, how are you going to reach them? How are you going to reach that active community of over 1 billion people with a B if you're not there? So it's just something to think about when you're coming up with your marketing strategy, guys. Do not miss out on the opportunities that are there in a less competitive space. Since you have less competitors when it comes to Bing, you are able to run ads at an overall lower cost per click rate. This is one of the best benefits, is that you have a lower cost per click. And it also gives you a lot of the same tools that Google does without a lot of the extra features that really just kind of boggle you down and might stress you out if you're new to running ads. Bing kind of has a happy medium of features and ways that you can use keywords and different things to contact people with your ads without getting into way too much detail that's going to go over some of your heads that frankly don't necessarily need to even use, that Google has. I find it a very user-friendly experience compared to a lot of other places in terms of running ads. That's just something to keep in mind. Also, because you have less competition on there and less cost per click, you're probably going to rank quicker and easier on Bing than on the highly saturated sites like Google search. That's another thing to keep in mind. Faster ranking. So that's another huge benefit right there. Also with Bing, you're not just going to be displayed on Bing, you're also going to get coverage on MSN, Yahoo, and AOL, because they're owned by Microsoft. So you're going to get extra coverage. Make sure when you're running your ads that you don't disable that, because you want your ads to run as far and wide as possible. Now, Bing is going to give you different options in terms of where to run the ads, different parameters. When given the choice between the system doing some of the work for you and you doing it manually, especially starting out, you want to go with Bing's recommendations. Usually their interface is pretty intuitive and knows where those ads should go, but obviously you want to make sure that you have the right location and age setting and tags and all that good stuff. But outside of that, I would go with Bing's recommendation. Make sure that your ads are also going to be seen on MSN, Yahoo, and AOL as well. Another cool thing that a lot of you might not know about Bing is that the profile information from LinkedIn profiles are also connected to Bing search. So you're going to find a very nice overlap between people that you have connections with on LinkedIn versus Bing, because they are, connected by the same companies. But in a very real way, when you're running ads on Bing, LinkedIn people are much more likely to see it. And my suggestion would be to start to incorporate LinkedIn into your Bing strategy if that's the route you want to go, which we highly recommend. You want to be active on LinkedIn. You want to have posts there frequently, meaning several times a week, if not every day. There's a misconception that if you're on LinkedIn, you shouldn't post more than a couple times a month because people will think it's spam. It's a social media site. There are people on there 3, 4, 5 times a day, sometimes more, just like any other site. You can post as often as you want, as long as it's substance and it's professional and you're giving people helpful information, and they will thank you for it. They will absolutely love that you're doing that and you're helping them out. So incorporate LinkedIn into your Bing strategy, and you're going to get an edge over your competitors when you have a much smaller pool. I mean, you guys are going to be killing it within the next few months if you use this strategy. Trust me. Also, you want to keep in mind that, things still take time, even though it's a less saturated platform. You're not going to get to the top of Bing overnight, even if you're doing $1,000 a day in ads, which I would not recommend, obviously, when you're starting out. But keep that in mind. The system is going to take some time to process you. However, based on our research, it doesn't take the same amount of time as Google. Google ads can take weeks, if not months, to start really kicking up steam, and we find that Bing is a little bit more user intuitive and you can see those results quicker. So if you're okay with reaching a, quote, smaller audience of 1 billion people, and you're okay with your ads running on Bing, MSN, Yahoo, and AOL, you want that connection with LinkedIn, that's a platform that you use or you intend to use frequently, then there is literally no reason to not run Bing ads. Maybe you start out with just $5 or $10 a day, maybe even a couple dollars a day. But my suggestion would be to give that a try. Do not go into it without some kind of strategy or plan. And as always, you got to know your audience and understand their unique needs. But once you do, I highly recommend it. Now, we offer coaching on Bing. We also offer coaching on LinkedIn, which is what we talked about earlier, incorporating that with your strategy. If you want us to coach you on how to do this or do it for you, give us a call today at 407-334-9378. That phone number is 407-334-9378. And in your first meeting, we will give you a free social media and search engine consultation, and we will give you a real strategy you can use on your own or use with us. Guys, we just want everybody to get this information. Thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us. You have a good day. Bye-bye.